In America, they have the camp police called ICE, I.C.E., which is a funny name for a police force in army uniforms. Here it says U.S. Camp Police. I mean, why would you call an auxiliary police force ICE? Are they cool or something? Or are they aiming at the young internet community to make them believe that all this is cool as ice? It says cool as ice, question mark. Or are we back in the Cold War maybe? It says Cold War. So in the picture here, it says Northwest Ice Processing Center. Now, it sounds like a factory processing humans. Hey guys, center, you don't write it down like this. You spell it C-E-N-T-R-E, not E-R. Come on. So I wrote down here, Tavistock Institute think tank for social engineering. Or, well, let's call it then social processing and stay in their choice of words. A new word, social processing. The ICE processing. Well, with a name like this ICE thing, you know there's something fishy going on. And straight out of the Tavistock Institute think tank for social engineering or social processing, because our masters out of Pharaoh's nobility don't just choose a name just like that. Just as in my previous video on Unit 29155, that there is a reason behind the choice of their names and three-letter companies that usually have an occult attachment to it, just as in this I.C.E. case. The reason for the name ICE, I-C-E, is related to what I saw at the creepy gate of this video here, where I got chased by two creepy guys with huge sledgehammers. Namely, at the front gate, it said in Italian, "Lasciate ogni speranza voi che entrate," meaning, abandon all hope, ye who enter, probably related to entering an ice camp. So here it says the beginning on the gate here, the beginning of the Italian phrase. It says here, lasciate, on here, ogni speranza voi che entrate. So this is the video on the same channel. Here, this is what it means. Abandon all hope, ye who enters. You have no more hope if you step inside. Well, this is what I experience also in there. And here's the title, same channel. 76,000 views. The Italian phrase is 700 years old, from the book Hell, or Inferno in Italian, mostly called Dante's Inferno, from the year 1321. From the same era, the Templars' base, Switzerland, was founded in 1291, and the Knights Templars burned only 7 years before in Paris in 1314 in front of the Notre Dame Cathedral. So here you can see an ice camp. Here it says ice camp. Here's the phrase in Italian of Dante's Inferno. Lasciate ogni speranza voi che entrate. In English that makes abandon all hope, ye who enter. Here it says 9 circles of hell, Dante's Inferno. The writer of the book Hell, Inferno, is the Freemason Dante Alighieri, talking about the 9 circles of hell, and how the devil is bound in frozen ice, I.C.E., up to his waist, waiting to be released and unleashed upon the people. Just like the cops have been bound by law during decades of decay and rampant crime rates all over the Western world, with all the cops ready and filled with years of accumulated frustration to be let free off the leash. Like Dante's ice devil, waiting to be defrosted and let free and let loose on the people. Like an ice cop after decades of utter frustration and anger. Ice cop is quite an adequate expression because they tend to look more and more like ice hockey players with a gun. It says ice cop, and here's the French CRS police, and here's the ice hockey player. Look, they look the same. They are the ice cops, aren't they now? All this happening now is straight out of the Freemason textbook of Ordo ab Chaos, meaning order out of chaos, according to which, after decades of chaos, seeking the people's approval, to open the 9 gates of hell and let loose the ice devil under the banner of reinstalling order, which, of course, the latter being utterly politically chewed out, so the people will accept the deal with the devil. Of course, we like it all when someone finally cleans up and brings order. But this is the point, because in the end times it needs consent to bring in the total control. And, well, the people's consent seems to be there to unleash the Freemason ice devil, visibly obtained under the pretext of bringing order under the veil of Ordo ab Chaos. It's the spiritual consent which is the most lethal part of it all, that will open the gates of the camps of hell. And these lying politicians have achieved the collective consent of the people. They always use the very same techniques and the very same model, people. Hitler did the very same in 1933, opening Dachau and selling it as a re-education camp for the greater good of the nation, initially presenting the camp as a philanthropical wellness resort to help and re-educate some homeless persons. But very soon after, everyone could disappear in Dachau and never to be seen again. And as they always use the same methods, as you can see here, the railway line, and here's also, they already got a railway line, the Northwest Ice Detention Center. And they use the same techniques. First it starts as something nice, and it's necessary, and then people start disappearing. Everybody starts disappearing. We all know it's not going to end well, So let's call it Auschwitz, because it's the same, ice and the width thing here, it's the same. The same railway tracks, the same harmless sort of presentation, and there's a necessity to do this, and so Auschwitz, it's not going to end well. We can all see this. And they always use the same techniques, just as before, and this is now. You want to end here, you want to stop here, this stop here with the train, yeah? You want to consent? It started with a harmless sounding name like Dachau Re-Education Camp, or today's harmless sounding ICE Processing Center. And it ended with an extermination camp, like this one to the left, which name I'm not allowed to pronounce because of the AI censorship. And this one to the right already has the people's consent to make things end, like the one on the left. I hope you all remember this bad omen here by a prominent member of the powerful Swiss Haldeman dynasty. And just before the Nazi salute, he did this Freemason arm sign for distress and help, which looks a bit like the universal sign for surrender, which comes out of the Egyptian symbol Ka for the soul, and also means help or protection when being used, like in a statue at home or something. So here you can see the official symbol of Ka. It's also a hieroglyph, and it's used like on a statue like this one here at home, for help, just like these Freemasons here. And the other one, the Haldeman guy. So only a few months before this here started to happen with the ice camps in 2025, this here happened, and you think there's no connection and it's just a coincidence between this movement here and the camps and the railway line just next to the camp, the ice camp. And here, look, here's the circle, it's also the same as the analogy. And here's the circle. And what does the circle mean? Well, it stands first of all for the compass, and secondly, it's the sun, the Horus sun, like in the sun hieroglyph. It's all the same. It happened then, and it's happening now. Our masters are all of Pharaoh's nobility, and all politicians and successful businessmen are all Freemasons, therefore all using the same symbols and hand signs. And here asking for help to the global Freemason community and all leaders of the world to assist the Third Reich, in which system we still are, as the Germans lost the war, but the Nazis won the war. Here, asking for help and Global Freemason Union for the US endeavor to bring back the camps and to export the idea of US ICE camps globally for the entire world population within an end times scenario, and unleash the ice devil of Dante's Inferno, as in this quite peculiar name for an auxiliary camp police by the Freemason name of ICE. So here you can read about Dante's Inferno, a book out of the 14th century. The text here is quite long, so I scroll down a bit quicker. Here's about the 9 circles of hell. Very much related to the great Ennead of the 9 original gods of Egypt. So it says here, and after the 9 circles, I suppose here this is the center of hell. Here you can see the picture of the ice devil. You see, he's here's the ice, and he's frozen, or it is frozen in the ice. You can see people lying here. So here, in the very center of hell, condemned for committing the ultimate sin, the treachery against God, is the devil, etc. And here it says, Lucifer is a giant, terrifying beast trapped waist deep in the ice, fixed and suffering. Well, here's the funny name, ice. This is where it comes from. So they're going to release the ice devil, just as we see it starting now in America with the ice camps and the ice soldiers, and working towards the goal of unleashing the ice devil. This is what the masters believe, all these Freemasons and this is what they are aiming for. In the center of hell, there's the ice devil, and there's your name. Our pharaonic masters and their Freemason politicians love their fellow Freemason Dante Alighieri and his book Hell, with its frozen ice devil, and thus honoring him by calling the US camp police ICE. I call him the Iceman, and for the Iceman, you are the Mice Man. Like in this book called Maus, which is the German name for a mouse, talking about the Mice Man and the Iceman. Our masters and political leaders are all occultists, and therefore the logos and names of their organizations and armed collaborators have an occult meaning, like ICE or 29155 and many others I've already shown you. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned. No rumor is printed. No secret is revealed. By John F. Kennedy. So here in the I.C.E. logo of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, you can see the Horus falcon holding 3 arrows representing them, our masters, and their hierarchy, as the triangle configuration of their pyramid hierarchy has 3 sides and 3 corners, whereas the base of the hierarchical pyramid and down where the dumb slaves are, the base of the pyramid has 4 corners and 4 sides, represented by the concept of 4, where the grass is and the sheeple are grazing. Therefore, in the picture, underneath the Horus falcon and the 3 OWO arrows, the 3 arrows are in red for the original feudal OWO. I'm not allowed to pronounce the abbreviation because of the AI censorship. And red is the Pertasser, red house of Lower Egypt or Pharaoh. Therefore, the inner circle is red for the OWO. And the OWO of the original pharaohs and their vertical rule. Whereas the outer circle is white for the White House per head of Upper Egypt. Therefore, the color white representing the horizontal rule republic, keeping it all together. And as Horus is always represented by the sun, you can see in the I.C.E. logo the sun in white with 9 sun rays, representing the great Ennead of the 9 original gods of ancient Egypt, or in this case, Dante's 9 circles of death, showing the sun in white, S for the ice devil. So here you see it 2 times, the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And here are the 3 arrows in red for the Pertasser, which is Lower Egypt, and it stands for the OWO. And therefore, you can, the 3 here stands for a pyramid. So if you visualize here like a pyramid, underneath the pyramid, it's, it used to be grass, so it's green, therefore. The 3 arrows also stand for the pyramid. So, there's a pyramid like here. And where the pyramid is the hierarchy, it's them. The concept of 3, therefore 3 arrows. And underneath the pyramid is a square. The base of a pyramid is a square where the dumb slaves are, and therefore this is in green here, as well as here. And this represents the sun here. There are 9 arrows of the sun, representing the 9 original, the great Ennead. And this, of course, is a falcon, because only a falcon stands up in the air like this. An eagle doesn't do that. So here's the inner circle in red for the OWO, our masters actually. They are in the inner circle. And then there's an outer circle keeping the whole thing together with the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is the octagon. As I've shown in many of my videos, the octagon is protecting the inner circle. The red is the inner circle. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stars. And the whole thing is in blue for the war, which is the war crown. And the white for the NWO. Yeah. And so it's all occult. It all has an occult meaning. And therefore the entire name I.C.E. I mean, if this is all occult, then the name I.C.E., you know, logically, it must also be occult, which I just explained to you. And the name here, the US Immigration and the I.C.E., Customs Enforcement, is written in blue because of Pharaoh's war crown, and it is in white for representing I.C.E. And here too, their sun is like, in the end times, it's represented in white, like for the I.C.E., with 9 sort of sun rays, for the 9 circles of hell, or the great Ennead of Pharaoh. So here's white, and here's white, and it all has a meaning. And as the arrows are in red for the pertasser, which is representing our masters, so who is shooting arrows at us? Who has all the power? Well, it's them, the masters, the concept of 3, whereas the people are the concept of 4. So in many times you see presidents and politicians with a red tie. It means they are from the nobility, our masters. And if they have a white tie, it means they are Republicans, not in the American sense, but in the universal sense of being a Republican, the horizontal rule. And a red tie is more that they are for the vertical rule. And if they have a blue tie, it means they want war, which we see a lot nowadays. So here you can read about the great Ennead. Was a group of 9 deities in Egyptian mythology. The sun god Atum, his children Shu and Tefnut, their children Geb and Nut, and their children Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. So here you can see there are 9 gods. And here you can read the English name Ennead is a borrowing via Latin of the Greek name Enneas, meaning the 9. And the Egyptian name, which is Pesejet, it also means 9, the great Ennead. So therefore there are the 9 sun rays, or maybe there are 9 parts of an ice crystal, as it is the logo of ice. And maybe their sun is in ice, who knows. Anyway, it's highly occult. The whole ice logo is occult, the name is occult. In the word ICE, the Immigration Customs Enforcement, the word enforcement is most likely related to the enforcer within each Freemason lodge, who is the guy doing the assassinations within the lodge when its members derail and don't follow. So here you can see once more the sun, or maybe it's an ice crystal, or maybe both at the same time with 9 things here. And ICE was formed in 2003 under Republican President George W. Bush. And ICE falls under the direction of the Department of whom I call Homeland Security, as you can see here in my other channel, indicating that they are in fact the homies committing crimes against the people in their shiny uniforms, and that total control is SIC, Homeland Security. Here it says Homeland Security, with a lot of pyramids here, and here is Pharaoh. The logo of the SIC homies shows again the Horus falcon, which is not an eagle, because only a falcon stands straight up in the air while flapping its wings. Eagles don't do that. The Horus falcon has a 2-colored wing, blue for Pharaoh's war crown and white for the Republic, as in Pharaoh's per-head White House. In the coat of arms, it shows a white NWO pyramid with green grass at its base, where the sheeple graze. The pyramid is also part of a bigger pyramid of the falcon's tail. So here you can see that. Here there's a pyramid with the green grass below it. As I told you, this is where why should this be green, you know? Because this is where the sheeple, where they graze. And it's also part of a bigger pyramid, which you can see here. Then its wings, I have 2 colors, blue for the war crown and white for the White House, which stands for the Republic, the pharaonic per-head. In the falcon's right claw is an acacia branch with 13 leaves, because Horus' father Osiris was cut into 13 parts. So here you can see it. There are 13 leaves, and this is acacia. And in the Horus falcon's left claw are 13 arrows for the very same Osiris reasons, but divided into 8 white arrows for the military octagon of the white horizontal rule republic, and 5 in blue for the blue war crown, as in the Pentagon war machine. So here you can see this. There are 13 arrows. All these numbers, you know, they all have a meaning. And there are 8 that are white arrows here. And there are 5 for the Pentagon that are in blue for the war crown. And these white ones are for the Republic, the per-head. And all of this is within the inner circle in red of the Red House to serve and protect our masters only, integrated into the outer white Republican circle, integrating both masters and their slaves as a whole. So again, like the other logo, so the ICE organization, it belongs as a smaller part to this bigger US Department of Homeland Security. And the whole thing, this is the inner circle again, is in red because they are our masters. And then the whole thing is in a white circle. It's almost like the 9 circles of hell by Dante Alighieri. So these logos, they are completely, it's all pharaonic, Freemasonry, it's occult, and therefore the I.C.E, the name of the whole I.C.E thing is entirely occult. So don't you believe that our occult masters with their occult hand signs and with their criminal friends were miraculously saved and transformed by some divine entities in the sky and are here to save humanity after some divine plan, after having been touched by angels and other superstitious religious hocus pocus and whatnot. Because the nearest Donny here gets to God is the "In God We Trust" on the $1 bill. And remember how Donny shows the concept of 3 and 4 for square and compass, which I've shown you in this video here from last year. So here is doing this, like what the occult sign, what they all do there. Even Hitler did it. And here is the concept of 3. And afterwards he goes into the concept of 4. And the 3, as I told you, with the 3 arrows in the logo of the homies, it stands for the compass, or the hierarchical pyramid. And the concept of 4, it stands for the people, the base of the pyramid. So this is the video. Here's the title, MAGA, Make Aristocracy Golf Again. And I made it, a year ago, in October 2024, probably exactly a year ago. So, on the same channel. No, there is no divine plan with Donny here playing the major role. The evil plan is, and always has been, the Ordo ab Chaos and your consent, which Hitler and the Nazis also did, promising to make Germany great again, just after a terrible world war and a devastating economical depression and lethal food crisis. Here you can see the same arm movements, It's always the same, history repeating itself, So here it says in German, I'm going to read it for you and afterwards translate it into English. And see this word here, Frieden, it means peace. It's exactly the same thing, going on now, They say, oh, we're going to bring peace, and make Germany great again. So I read it for you here. Ich bitte jetzt das deutsche Volk, mich in meinen Glauben zu stärken. You see the S, that's the old way of writing an S. Und mir durch die Kraft seines Willens auch weiterhin die eigene Kraft zu geben, um für seine Ehre und seine Freiheit jederzeit mutig eintreten und für sein wirtschaftliches Wohlergehen, that means wirtschaftlich, means economical, Wohlergehen, it means like comfort, sorgen zu können und mich besonders zu stützen in meinen Ring einen wahrhaften Frieden. So here you see in a newspaper of those days the same text as I read before. So it's original, it's not something I or somebody else put on a picture with Mr. Adolf, but it was really in the newspaper and all over. So it's the same talk about peace, the same hand gestures as today. So here it says in English, that would be, I now request of the German people to strengthen me in my faith and through the power of its willpower, continuously provide my own power in order to at any given time provide for its honor and its freedom and care for its economic well-being, and especially to support me in my battling for a true peace. There you go, peace. Same thing as going on today. Same gestures, same words, the same rising of arms, the same camps, ICE camps. And in this text, when he's talking about to provide for its honor, that's of course the it is Germany, and its freedom, Germany's freedom, and a true peace. And in German, they say not it, but it's his in this text, on seinen. So makes it a bit strange in the translation maybe. But that was the English translation of this. So what the bloke here with the same folding hands as Donnie is doing, what he said. And he's saying the same things, the same camps, the same things all over again. It's history repeating itself all the time. So here I enlarged this newspaper article of, here it says 1936, because it was a bit difficult to read. And I'll show you the text also once more. And here it says, your voice for the Führer, for honor, freedom, and peace. Can you believe it? Yeah, it says also, deine Stimme dem Führer. Your voice for the Führer. The leader, it means the leader. Yeah. This is from a town called Heidelberg. And here you got the same thing, the Horus wings, eh? With the sun, the Horus sun. This is a falcon, it's not an eagle. So here is again this text. I read it in German, I translated it in English for you. Here it's a bit easier to read, I hope. And it says here the name, I'm not going to pronounce it again because the AI machines will see this, and I don't want to see the bloke's picture underneath my film. And so it's the same, exactly the same text. Yeah. So, ich bitte jetzt das deutsche Volk, etc., etc. Yeah, Frieden, peace. So same thing as, you know, in Donnie's election campaign. You know, all the things he was saying, you know. It's like a direct copy of it all, you know. They just moved it up from history. So this is what Donnie said this year, 2025, when he got elected US president. I'll read it for you. It sounds like a Google Translate from Adolf from 1936, talking about peace and making Germany great again. It's exactly the same thing, people. Wakey, wakey. It says, this week I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be free to focus. Yeah, this is the same thing when what Adolf was talking about honor. I will bring back honor to the country. Yeah, go on. Armed forces will be free to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies. You know, like Adolf said, make Germany proud again. Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. Well, it sounds like the Roman Empire back, eh? We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end. Yeah, oh, okay, how you gonna end it? With a nuke or what? And perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker. Well, didn't Adolf just said that before, eh? And unifier. He said exactly the same thing, mate. This is a Google translation of 1936. Now, go on. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker. Just imagine yourself, Adolf, saying this, and it would fit, yeah? So that's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office. The hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. Here's what Adolf said, the same thing. I repeat it for you. This is what he said, and many more things. I now request of the German people to strengthen me in my faith and through the power of its willpower, continuously provide my power in order to at any given time provide for its honor and its freedom and care for its economic well-being, and especially to support me in my battling for a true peace. Exactly the same words, the same hand signs, the same camps, same raising of arms. I mean, people, please look at the facts. Don't believe all these liars. Look at the facts. I give you all the facts here. Remember these images. It's always the same, with history repeating itself over and over again, with the dumb slaves haven't learned anything. That those who created the chaos are the very same as those who promised to bring back order and prosperity. Here in this image, you see the key in the past. So the past is the key to understand the future and the politics and what they're going to do with us. So you have to go back in history, and this is what I'm doing now. Take the key and put it here in the keyhole to understand what they're going to do and what will happen. Because the slaves are so dumb, they've always been accepting all the lies and all these things of our masters, pushing us into wars. It has always worked out. It has always been very successfully for them, very successful. So why not continue doing it? I mean, it works out every time, every century, it works out. Why not repeat it? So they're repeating the same thing over and over again. It's the same symbols, the same hand signs, the same camps. You need to have the key of the past. And I hope you understand that this is what I'm doing. And I'm trying to save you all. The masters adapt to a natural frequency, knowing that when the dumb slaves have been living in order, peace, and harmony for too long at the top side of the curve, they get bored, needing action, chaos, and war, into which, and going into the down curve, Pharaoh's nobility will lead them into. So here it says on the top curve, it says peace and peace. And here on the down curve, it says war, war, war. So history is repeating itself. It's like a natural frequency, up and down and up and down and up and down. Endless wars without end. Endless horizontal wars. Or in other words, order in the top curve after chaos in the down curve, like Make America or Germany Great Again, and we will bring peace and prosperity, being just a part of the natural upseas and downseas of the political curve, psychologically executed within the social engineering of Ordo ab Chaos. So you see in the top curve order, and then the down curve chaos. So it goes all the way, when people are ready after the chaos, they're ready for the order, and it goes chaos, order, and then again, if they're tired of the order and get bored, they get chaos again, and then order, and it goes all the time, the whole history repeating itself. And remember the key of the past. We need to put the key of the past into the keyhole to understand and anticipate the future. This chaos in the Western world was not achieved by illegal immigrants, nor by drug dealers, nor by terrorists, nor by Antifa, nor by the woke movement, nor by pink list killers. No, this chaos is instrumentalized, manufactured, and our masters of Pharaoh's nobility let it happen and deliberately left the back door open. So terrorists, illegal immigrants, drug dealers, rapists, criminal gangs could quietly walk in and giving Antifa, woke movement, and its pink list killers total liberty to spread their thing to our children. According to our master's Ordo ab Chaos technique, to obtain the people's approval and consent, to deploy the end times beast system with AI end times chip with ICE camps for those who refuse the end times repression of the ICE devil and his ICE demons in their military uniforms and assault rifles, all ready and set in place to accelerate the process, just needing a spark to get the evil engine running, which undoubtedly our masters will deliver in the form of a false flag provided by the enemy within themselves in a very near future in order to unleash the ICE devil.